She, her, hers powerhouse.
The Blossom Powerhouse. Lovely to meet you.
Yes. Go ahead. I want to know your ideology around transgenderism, something that doesn't exist. It just sounds more like conservative propaganda. So I kind of want to know a little bit more about what you're trying to communicate.
Okay. I think for all of history everywhere, people have understood the human person to have something to do with his body. So like your body has something to do with who you are. Now there is an alternative view, which is called Gnosticism. It's a view that our bodies don't really have anything to do with who we are, that the body is maybe even evil, and that our true selves have no connection to our bodies. And I see in the transgender ideology a kind of Gnosticism that says that you could look like a man, you could have a man's genetics, you could have a man's genitals, you could have a man's everything. But if you feel on some deep level that you're really a woman, then you are really a woman. And I don't think that's true. And I think that the social effects of that are really bad because it leads to the depriving women of their legitimate rights. In some cases, it leads to rapes, notably in the last few years. And it also leads to women losing their sports competitions and their scholarships, and it's just disordered and false. And it also leads to more people adopting this identity, which leads to very high rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide. So it's bad for everyone, and it's not grounded in reality.
Oh, I don't even think you understand what you say sometimes. I don't think you even understand what you say, because when we talk about these rape cases of women in the restroom, they're coming from cis men like you. So let's be very clear.
No, that's not true. In 2021,
do not interrupt a black
well, I'm just trying to correct you. Well, I would never interrupt.
Do not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking. What is that?
KJ, she is on script. That's how the black girls act. And so she kind of feels like, do not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking. I just think it's so funny how she's towering above Matthew Knowles. And he is being as kind and polite as possible. I don't understand how anybody can look at this Blossom girl. Somebody said, oh my God, not Blossom. This Blossom girl does not have a mental issue. Seriously, sis, you are like 6 feet tall. Look at them hands with them nails, KJ.
I know.
And I don't care. Like, you're expecting me to live in your fantasy of you being a woman when, sis, can we just say that you're a man that identifies with women, and you just can we do that?
He doesn't want to do it. She want to do whatever he is. He goes on. Here he is again. Take a look.
Interrupt a black woman.
No, thank you. Here's the thing about me as a black trans woman. I am not a threat to cis women. And I think it is harmful that you are going around here spewing that rhetoric, weaponizing this rhetoric against trans people.
Weaponizing facts.
Transgenderism does not exist. We as trans people exist. We are 1% of the population. And there is a lot of power in the trans identity, because you are sitting here spewing something to me that doesn't really exist.
I'm not spewing anything. I'm just stating facts.
I have lived experience. You don't, and you never will. But I do have a question.
I have lived experience.
What if one of your kids came out as trans? How would you react to that?
God forbid. I mean, I would obviously love my children, and I would try to do what's best for my children. And the best thing that I could do to be respectful and also to be conducive to their flourishing is to tell them the truth, which is that they're not really girls.
Oh, come on. I can't even imagine your relationship with your children. No shade.
But right. That's a great relationship.
I just cannot even imagine that. But here's the reality. We exist. Again, people like you do not have the intellectual capacity to hold conversations like this, because in a minute you're going to reduce this down to genitalia, and then we're going to have to shift it somewhere else, because obviously people like you, that's where they go, right?
In a minute, what I'm going to do is correct something you said. When you said that the rapes that have occurred in these bathrooms are cis men.
White cis men, I should say, actually.
That isn't true. Loudoun County, 2021, the big case that actually ended up flipping the state was because there was a boy who wore a skirt, went into the girl's bathroom and raped a girl in a particularly hideous way. And do you know what happened? Hold on, don't cut me off. You said you wouldn't.
A cis boy. It was not a trans woman. All y'all do is go back to.
All right, I can't take him.
I can't
listen to him anymore.
And then the blush, KJ. I'm sorry, I can't get over the blush with the eyelash. I mean, like with the eyebrow. Like, it's just too much. And then she is trying to make the statement, and poor Matthew Knowles was kinder to me kinder to her than I would have been. She's trying to make the statement that white men create more rapes, and that's just not y'all, that's just not true. The statistics don't show it, unfortunately. Cis man, when it comes to crimes, y'all black men, which is y'all wear the crown. I mean, y'all just do. Is that wrong to say that?
Well, no, it's a fact. It's a fact. You know, just like people don't, especially black people, and just so you guys may not know, you can see I am a black person, don't like to hear that we only make up 13% of the population, but we contribute 55% of the crime, the violent crime in America. We don't want to hear that, but we don't want to hear that. It's a fact. Another fact is God made the body with dignity and value and purpose. And the purpose is attached to our biological sex. And so looking at this thing, sitting here talking to Michael Knowles, right. You can see that thing is in such it's in such contrast. There's war, I should say. He is warring with his body and what God designed him to do. This is why the energy is all off. You see Michael Knowles, he's calm, he's cool, he's speaking to him, he's not all over the place. And this thing is all over the place. He can't sit still. He can't even get a word out without screaming. And it's like the demon is trying to scratch its way out of his wig.
KJ, the wig is lifting. The wig is so. And my thing is he can try to dress up, but biology is what it is, baby. Like you remember, like you see Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson's son, daughter. Like he's huge. No, you're talking about,
Magic Johnson, right?
Magic Johnson, he's huge, and it's like biology is what it is. And so I feel really bad for people like this because they didn't have the parents like you and I, KJ, when we looked at our child and we said, sorry, you're a boy, and we treated them like that. What damage was done to this person where people won't tell them the truth? What damage was done to them?
Well, one, we know that the enemy is lie. He is the author of lies.
Yeah.
And folks, what I see right there is a big wig lie. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be mean. But we who know who our creator is, we know that our body is not the product of some mindless force. God created all of us with intrinsic purpose, and we would be happier in life if we live according to that purpose.
Absolutely.
Designed for our bodies, for our lives. And that thing is not happy. He is just all over the place.
Well, I just wanted to be fair, KJ. Since they can change their sex, then maybe I can change my economic status. I feel trans billionaire today, and I really want you to acknowledge that. So I need the jets to come pick me up. I need all of the people to fawn at my feet. Like, it only works with genitalia. It only works with boy versus girl. If I said that I'm feeling transpositional and I said I'm the CEO of my job and I'm just going to set up my office there, they would escort me out of there. It only works with boy versus girl.
Yeah.
It didn't even work with Rachel Dolezal. She really felt like a black girl. Rachel Dolezal, we owe her an apology because she felt like she was transracial. And y'all did not allow her to do that. And that's not right.
And that's the thing. I mean, we are all generally made up about around where we live, our environment. So, she was saying that she was around black people. I mean, it was still alive. We know she was white, but I mean, if she wanted to live like she was a black person, go have at it, but
if you're gonna let Big Wig live the way that she want to, that woman is huge.
No, I know, and crazy looking. I wanted to show, if we could, really quickly. He was on Piers Morgan today, and he cut all the way up. He was on Piers Morgan with Riley Gaines. Well, Piers had to mute his mic because he wouldn't shut up.
Why you keep calling him his?
Oh, it is. I am. All right, that is not a woman. That is not a woman. And you see by the hands, in this one, he really shows those mitts.
Why do we separate the sexes at the Olympics?
Piers, if you actually let me get to it, because you let Riley have her talking point, so I'm going to actually have my talking point right now. CC is definitely a wonderful person, and I think, let's be clear, Donald Trump is a complete moron. Donald Trump talks so much about waste and fraud, and you're signing a whole executive order banning trans women from playing sports. According to the NCAA, there are over 510,000 athletes. And within those athletes, there are only less than 10 trans athletes. So you mean to tell me Donald Trump signed an executive order for 0.002 of the population when trans people are only 1%? That's a waste. That is a waste. Trans people exist. There are more than two sexes. There are intersex people that exist. And I think that it's nothing more than conservative propaganda that because Donald Trump is in power, he is able to use. I think Donald Trump should stop booty clapping to Elon Musk and actually get something done in this country. And eradicating trans people is not going to be it. And I stand 10 toes down on that.
Okay, so
I'll say very briefly, it's this argument that it's a small percentage of the population. I hope you realize it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not for every one male that's participating in a women's sport, it's one woman that's affected. In my sport, at our national championships, one male displaced 14,000 women. And I can speak for myself, I can speak for my teammates, I can speak for 99% of other female competitors on that pool deck. We all felt betrayed. We all felt violated in the locker room. We all felt it was unfair, but not enough people were courageous enough to say it because they were terrified. They were terrified of the name calling that you just pursued. Even, I mean, the first thing you say is Donald Trump is a moron. What 20-year-old girl wants to be called transphobic or any of the slurs that have been thrown my way? I can certainly attest to.
Riley, I think you're trying to, Riley, I think you're just trying to
that.
Let the girl talk.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
Look at this bear claw. Look at this mitt. This thing is out here trying to act like we're supposed to think he's a woman.
And then her attitude, y'all. I get real pissed off when people call Donald Trump a moron. If Donald Trump is a moron, KJ, then I want to be a moron. I will sign up for being a moron any day of the week. Like, if he's a moron, what does that make you, sister girl, sir?
Oh, if I saw him out in the wild, I'd think it was some type of moose. I'd run him over. I mean, this thing is nasty. Is nasty. And he goes off, and he goes crazy after this.
And make it seem like that trans people are a threat to cis women in the breast room, and that's not the case.
And then he has the nerve. I don't know if you all can see it at home. If you're watching this on the big screen, he looks like he has testicles around his neck. I don't know what that is, but it looks like two round testicles around his neck.
That's probably his balls. Riley Gaines is such a class act. I love how beautiful she is. I love how gracious she's being to him and him. And she's really trying to just like have a cordial conversation, and Sister Sir is so on fire. Like he ready.
Yeah, it's the demons are all in him, and he just doesn't know what to do.
Sister
Trans
Sir.
women and cis women be coming together. Trans women are not a threat to.
Okay, but here's look, but Blossom.
And I think that y'all have ran on that ideology.
Yeah, Blossom.
Y'all have ran on that ideology.
Blossom, hang on.
And you're gonna have to specifically tell me cases.
Blossom,
can you specifically tell me cases of where trans women have hurt cis women in the restroom?
Blossom,
I'd like to know that.
Blossom,
please.
we don't use words like cis on here because no one understands it. Let's just.
Well, I use cisgender, so that's where
I'm sure you do, but nobody.
I like to use that in my vocabulary.
Yeah, but nobody else understands it. Let's just stick to my question. My question for you, which you have.
Just because you don't understand, you just don't have the intellectual capacity. Piers. You don't.
And then he takes over. He's taking over Piers Morgan's show. Piers had to mute this thing so he would stop talking.
KJ, okay, Sister Sir is just already so aggressive, so defensive. She keeps saying, oh, this is a small population and in the restroom and all of that. Like, we are talking about real women who have gotten hurt and beaten. I was talking to one of my friends today, and we were talking about how strong men really are. That was the reason that they came up with women's sports. It's amazing to me. It is actually so mind-boggling to me that no transgendered men, so any women that are dressing up as men, want to participate in men's sports. I wonder why.
Well, this thing was on here saying, Piers asked, he's like, well, what do you say? What do you think about combining the paraplegics and the Olympics? What do you think about combining that? And he had the nerve to say he thought it should be combined.
I'm telling KJ, they going down with they are ride or die for their cause. And that's what I can't get with. It's like when you know something is silly and you know something is wrong. Sister Sir, you are towering above these people, and instead of you looking over and saying, well, I can kind of see the difference, you just going standing 10 toes down with this mess.
Yeah, folks, we got to continue to stay in prayer. We really do. You can clearly see that we are not wrestling with flesh and blood.
Oh no,
this thing is nothing but pure demon right here. This is demon, and we have to pray. Pray for our children, pray for our family, and that, and pray for him. Pray for him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to help him. Prayer.
Yeah. And
all things.
And not only that, it really helps with us, you guys, like telling the truth. I remember Andrew Tate was talking about over in India, there's a lot of like what he called lady boys, and they call themselves lady boys. Now they don't say that they're women. They say, hey, we're lady boys. And I, like as much as I don't agree with it, and I know that the Bible speaks against this, Blossom, Sister Sir, has decided that this is the kind of lifestyle they want to live, which is fine. But we as the adults in the room have to say, yeah, I know that you feel like you're this. However, you are a man. Right. I'm sorry. And do not let up. Do not allow them to let us call good evil and evil good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have to fight back against this in the education system as well. School is a place for facts, not for this fake stuff here.
Agree.
And I'm so happy that, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, RFK has really taken the helm at HHS and already has put out this this I don't know what you would call it, rule about biological sex.